What's up, guys? This is January 31st. This is Gold Robotics. Today is January 31st. We just took it 2 times in a row. I got it wrong the first time, and then we just went over it, and then I think I accidentally hit the stop button and stopped the recording, or something happened. Anyways, so we're redoing it. So maybe it goes faster this time. Start off with Reese again. I mean, not again for you, but again for us, because.
Anyways, basically all I did today was I worked on testing out my consistencies with the new things I added, with the changes that I made with the intake, and also with my indexer, and also the more torque I added to my roller mech, and also my passive roller. Just testing it all out, running on the field, seeing how well it does, feeling how it was better. Also, it also changed in the code to make the drivetrain coast, because someone suggested that in the comments of one of the videos, thinking it might make it better. It didn't, because it's the axle inputs, like the axis inputs that we're using, and so us changing it to coast with the motors really won't do anything, because the motor is now trying to go from whoever had the axis at 100 and then I set it to 0 or back negative 100, the motors are now trying to hit that point immediately, and so whether it's on coast or not, it really wouldn't do anything.
So yeah, it helped like a slight bit whenever we go forward and complete stop, but most of the time when we go forward, you go backwards right after that. So really what we can do is store the previous input for the speed and then average that with the last input of the speed, and that would add ramping, and we can change how much we input that to make that. Anyways, so Reese made a bit of progress today. He has homework, like a lot of homework, so he doesn't he's been mainly working on his homework. But I've been working on my intake. I think I talked about that yesterday. But so what I had before is something very similar to Reese. It is the floating intake, right? That floats in the front. And anyways, so the problems with my floating intake was that during competition, I would take a few hits to the front right here, and it's connected to the axle. So once it took a hit, it pretty much shut down my whole intake, but also it shut down my roller mech, because my rollers are connected to my intake, and it shut down my indexer, so I couldn't shoot whatever I had left in my shot. So that really shut me down. Another problem that I had was that whenever I was intaking like a stack, right, a lot of times the second disc would come in like right after. It wouldn't get jammed like right here because it had this guard right here, but they would just be really quick next to each other, right? Something like that, and it would jam in the bot. And then so yeah, I play defense and I get hit, and then it also helps with that. And also in perimeter. Staying in perimeter, like Reese's is fine because he's got space to work with, but mine's like right on the edge. Probably if it was fully expanded outwards, it was outside of perimeter, and that was a big problem that I definitely needed to fix, because that's not, that's against the rules. Can't have that. And so let me walk over here with my bot. So what I did, my solution, I haven't really seen this before, but I think, it probably has been done, but it's a inverted floating intake. So instead of coming out like this, it comes out like inside. Like, I'll show you. This is what it is. It floats this way, right? And so whenever we intake a disc, it goes up like that, right? Instead of coming out. And that allows me to have a wall right here that's very structural. These elastics, I don't know if I'm keeping there because it's probably going to be making contact, so they might pop. But yeah, and I opted for a tensioner, right? And what that does, if I don't have the floating intake on that axle, I need to add a tensioner to keep the chain tight, because the axles are different spaces apart now. But with the tensioner, it helps it not, it helps it get faster motor efficiency, because that floating intake is not on the axle. So my motor efficiency was about 85 to 90 before. Now it's like about 95. So that's really nice. And so anyways, and then I can take hits, is pretty much what I was saying. And it's also like about an inch in than what it was before. So used to it could expand from like about here and then expand an inch out maybe. Now it doesn't expand any out, it just expands inwards. Works really well. The only con that I think Reese thought of this was that if I'm playing in a logo or something like that, and I go to a corner to grab a disc, I might not be able to get exactly in the corner. But really with my strategy, that's not really what I typically, one disc in the corner isn't really going to make too much of a difference, I don't think. Hopefully not, but if it comes down to it, I think I can line up parallel and hit it. But anyways, I don't think that's too much of a problem. So anyways, I'll show it off. I'll get Reese to hold the camera. Yeah, make sure you don't hit the stop button like I did. And
let's see. Can I
let's
get a
see
good
the best angle for this. So yeah, you can see that. Okay, devices. And I unplugged like everything to make room for string launchers up here, right? Because I'm moving the brain, so I'm just using the motor control with that. Okay, and so the disc goes over. Just sucks it up like that. Okay, bring it closer to like a side profile. So, yeah. So once it goes over a disc, the floating part comes up like that. A little bit. Just sucks it up. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, backwards. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, so yeah, got that floating intake fixed, and I really like it. It feels really clean. Not even pushing perimeter because I moved it in an inch. And so my next step is to get this worked out, because this, works most of the time. But a lot of times if I'm turning while I'm intaking, like I can intake from any angle, right? But if I'm turning while I'm intaking, a lot of times that movement causes something to hit and the disc doesn't fall in. It's a very solvable problem. But something that, if I jam, then can't shoot anymore, and then that's not good. So we need to fix all the intake jams at the top. Also need to fix string up here. So this is the bot, right? So where this string launcher used to be, this was very temporary so that I could do at least something. But this was the yo-yos, right? And then the catapult that just launched like that. Instead of that, I want a whole bunch of string launchers right here in the front or back or wherever, front, I guess. But right above this roller, right? Possibly shooting that way, and right above this roller shooting that way, above the turret. And that's gonna allow me a little bit more space and a little bit more spread, yada, 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 stuff like that. And then after that, I will move the brain to this region, wherever this string launcher is, and then that'll give me space to put everything. I need to wire that up again and wire up string launchers again, stuff like that. But a lot of progress. I did not think I would be this far already, but it's really nice to have that done this early into the week, because we have 2 more weeks until comp. We have 2 Saturdays because the competition's on Sunday because it's UIL for some reason. Anyways, I think that's it for today.
I don't got anything.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.